After a sweeping victory at the polls last night, re-elected Premier Doug Ford took questions from the media today. The 83-seat win comes following the lowest voter turnout in Ontario's history and resulted in the departures of other leaders. Jason Gaidola reports.
Tonight, the people have spoken from Windsor to Cornwall.
It was another landslide victory for the Ontario PCs, who now hold even more seats than the previous election.
I inherited a party, and this party is very different now. We've kept our promises right along the way over the last 4 years, even through challenging times of the pandemic. We're going to make sure we keep our promises going forward.
In his first press conference as re-elected Premier this morning, Doug Ford reflected on the party winning 83 seats in an election that saw the lowest turnout ever at the polls. Elections Ontario say just 43% casted a ballot, down from 57% in 2018.
I think this system's worked for over 100 and some odd years. It's going to continue to work that way, but I'm just so proud of the coalition. There's a lot of people last time that never voted for us that were voted for us this time.
Nevertheless, the PC majority comes after 2 years of pandemic management, changes in caucus, and campaign stops filled with more meet and greets and less political sparring. Key factors noted by political analysts Clifton van der Linden and Keith Leslie.
Keeping Premier Ford and PC candidates out of debates and away from the media as much as possible, that many people just didn't engage, I think, and there's sort of COVID fatigue as well.
I think it was a conscious effort to avoid the specter of controversy that has sometimes dogged Conservatives in both provincial and federal races.
With another 4 more years for the Tories, opposition parties took a hit trying to reclaim spots in the legislature. While re-elected in Hamilton Centre, Andrea Horwath stepped down as the NDP leader in her emotional speech last night.
It's time for me to pass the torch, to pass the baton, to hand off the leadership of the NDP.
Along with Steven Del Duca, who didn't win his riding, and asked the Liberal Party president to begin a search for new leadership.
And I have asked him to meet with the executive to set a leadership contest for as soon as is reasonable.
Leslie and van der Linden add similar policies and constant attacks plagued both parties.
You know, could more have been done between the Liberals and the NDP to collaborate? I mean, collectively, they had more vote share than the Conservatives in this race.
For both the New Democrats and the Liberals, getting new blood, fresh faces coming in, especially for the Liberals. They can't have anyone that was associated with the Wynne government or the McGuinty government.
As for Ford today, he continued to push highways and hospitals and says Ontarians can expect a similar budget to the one tabled in April. 16 new members joined the PC caucus, but Ford didn't say when a cabinet will be named. Jason Gaidola, CHCH News.